Live from Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. This is your motivational, sensational, inspirational, educational, keenly awaited, highly anticipated edition of the Afternoon Swing Train Floor with your humble host, Jeremy Alexander, do some with another daily dose of mentally delicious brain food, reminding you to love life, enjoy it. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen from around the world? How are you doing on this fine Thursday? The week is almost over. It's been an exciting last few days, to say the least. Today's Transportation Thursday. We've got a few things to talk about. I'll let you guys trickle in here before we start getting into depth. Mark, what's going on? Jesse, how are you? Jill, what's up? Bill, how are you? Mike Paget, what's going on, my good friend? Hope you're doing well. So we'll talk a little bit about the markets. We talked some about the markets and FOMC and some of the Fed minutes yesterday, but doing a little bit of research between yesterday and today. Some of the notes that the Federal Reserve might be, selling back or getting some of the mortgage-backed securities that they bought in 2007, 2008, 2009 off their books is a little bit of an interesting news story. I think that's kind of what really, looking into a little bit more, that's what really shocked the market, I feel like, yesterday. Which also kind of corresponds with the potentiality that – is potentiality a word? I don't think so. The potential that housing and real estate getting to a little bit of a bubble effect. And I kind of think so. I think a lot of home prices or real estate is a little overvalued depending on what city you're looking at, of course. But there are a lot of issues right now with some of the real estate is really, really too high priced. Too many people get into it. It's around the corner. And I think that's what kind of caused a little bit of the shakeup that kind of happened yesterday. Not saying that the market's going to go to zero by any means, but I'm just going to keep an eye on things for sure. So here's the SPY, and this is the daily chart. Now, as of today, here's the hourly. And I do believe we have a jobs report coming out tomorrow of some magnitude, and it'll be interesting to see exactly how we open, tomorrow. So if the numbers come out good, we could really run. So I did get into some absolute 0 236 calls. Those expire tomorrow on the SPY. And when we closed, I was down about a quarter of an hour. So we'll find out exactly how and what it looks like, tomorrow, if it opens and runs. I'll be interested to see how it gaps. I do think we go higher from here. I still think we're going to go higher. We're not in bubble territory yet. Regardless, the Fed's going to start dropping back the mortgage-backed securities. The challenge is people are going to be buying them because, again, there's a lot of euphoria with housing market, I feel like, right now. Jill said, same here with the housing prices in Australia. Yeah, it's really, honestly, it's pretty bad here in Nashville, Tennessee. Pretty bad in Denver. It's really bad in Toronto and Montreal, some parts of Canada. Pretty bad in Seattle, Washington. But yeah, Nashville, I mean, you got houses. I'll try to buy a house and just a regular house, not even a flip or any other kind of investment, just a normal home. And people are paying 20% over asking price, for just your normal run-of-the-mill house. And then it's closing within a day. Like, you get a house, come on the market, just your normal 3-2 bath, normal house someone buys it in a day. It's just like, wow. And they're trying to flip like just your normal. Anyway, it's pretty incredible what's going on, at least here in Nashville. And I and all my friends, I mean, I meet so many people every single day who want to become real estate agents and things like that. So I'm not a doom and gloom kind of guy, but I'm just saying that it's building for a really good storm. Again, if we do just kind of slowly creep higher, and then the Fed, starts getting back the mortgage-backed securities, and we get to this euphoric state of, oh man, everything's going perfect. This is great. Mutual funds hop on, hedge funds hop on, but your real retail investors start really hopping on, and then it's just, it's already too high, it's too far. So it should be interesting. Angela said Vancouver and Victoria too. Yeah, I haven't done the research in Vancouver, Victoria, but I've heard apartments over 650,000. Wow, I know it's bad in San Francisco as well. Ken says, bad depends if you're buying or selling. Very true. Very, very true. It depends if you're buying or selling. If you're selling right now, things are good. But yeah, it's definitely going wild. Jill said medium house price Sydney around the 1 million US. I'm sorry, 1 million Australian mark. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Unreal. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking around and there's just so many houses that are overvalued in just so many different places. And I don't think it's the currency. You know, it's not like an inflation thing because we're not really getting inflation. Right, that's the thing. The dollar is going up, U.S. dollar, and even the Australian dollar is going up against a lot of other currencies. I don't think it's not like an inflationary period right now. So I don't know. I'm just looking around the housing markets. I'm just being very, very, very cautious on anything that I do buy and sell. If I'm trying to buy, I'm trying to buy as low as possible. Something I really wouldn't mind owning long term if I'm buying it. If it's a quick flip, I mean, the numbers have to work. It's getting harder and harder and harder to find flips and things to do real estate with. So anyway, just something to that's really what caused the market. It wasn't the federal minutes talking about Trump can't do anything to that wasn't it. I don't feel like I knew that was just, I was like, nah, it's a little too political for the market to be shocked that bad, you know? So I think that's kind of what it is in a way. Now here's the weekly chart. And the weekly chart we still have, if I hide all the stuff, we got this high wave candle. So again, I'm still bullish to neutral. I'm in directional calls expiring tomorrow, and obviously that's a weekly play. I'm willing for a close above 270, 237.72. Dave Zamora has a bull put spread expiring tomorrow. Dean has a put sell expiring tomorrow. So there's a lot of traders with option trades and spreads and whatnot expiring. So I like it. Looks good. The IWM, look at the support that the IWM bounced off of today. Holy Moses, who would have thought that would have happened? Man, I'm being a little snarky because that was, I mean, we've done that exact thing now a few times on the IWM where we trade down to that support, that 133 price, and just bounce right off. And here's your long-term moving average. So again, as you all know, I wanted to get into a bear call spread on Friday and just missed my opportunity. Didn't have it planned long enough. I should have. So the 127, 126 expires in 2 weeks, 10 trading days. 11 if you're counting tomorrow. Well, no, 10 because the market's closed. Yes, as a reminder, market is closed next Friday. So not tomorrow, but next Friday. So at least the U.S. stock market. The U.S. stock market is closed next Friday for Good Friday for Easter. That being the case, no trading room either in the morning or in the afternoon. So just enjoy your day. I don't know what I'll be doing. Probably going down to Georgia to see some of the family that weekend. But yeah, just kind of an FYI. So that's IWM. Here's the Qs, QQQ, and the Qs. This is the daily chart. Nothing really to see. Just a very, very small candle. Again, we had a nice upper shadow yesterday. Still looks bullish to neutral to me. We're getting really close to this fib target. And really at this point, at any point up in here, we could continue to trade sideways and pull down a little bit. But if you're not already in a spread, I would wait for that. And then here's the Dow Jones, DIA, Dow Jones trading sideways, doing its thing. Linneman, 10 trading days, yes. 10 trading days. So tomorrow, is it 10? Maybe it's more. No, I think I'm doing the math wrong. All of next week is 4 days. All the week after that is 5. Yeah, 10 trading days. All right. The Dow Jones, nothing really see on the Dow. So we just we're just chilling for right now. So today was almost a perfect doji. So yes, transportation Thursday, coming into tomorrow, finance Friday. We got some job numbers coming out. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Here's kind of my drawing on the IOIT. We trade up, trade down, bounce. So far, it looks kind of like that's what's happening. Here's the long-term moving average on the IOIT. We're battling the 100, right, from the bottom. And here's the weekly chart on the IYT. And what's important about this price point is it was a previous all-time high back in 2014. So previous all-time high, really, really strong level, great gap back here in November. And that's all I got on the IYT. So no specific trade setup on that, but we do have a few other trade setups. Let me write those in really quick. Taser, finish line, and plug are the two additionals that we'll look at, along with Win, Apple, EA, DNOW, Snapchat. Okay. So that'll kind of be the update for today. All right, let's get hopping into it. UBNT, which I believe is Ubiquity Networks. This is the one that Stan was looking at, and we were considering, and I still am actually at this point, considering playing this double top. I'm gonna put this on my watch list tomorrow for sure. Here's the double top, and you might remember just 2 or 3 days ago I mentioned wait for it to break below and then retest that neckline. This is exactly where we're at right now. So I'm not saying that UBNT is going to go to 0, not at all, but I am looking for a potential bearish trade. So let me hop into the hourly. Yeah, that looks pretty good on the hourly. Entry here. So I'm trying to determine how aggressive to play this trade. Stop here. I'm gonna put that on my list for tomorrow. I need to start planning it for 18 hours, which would be in time for tomorrow's open. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make this official or not, because it's gonna be a little aggressive. UBNT. Put it this way, for my traders who were interested in UBT and watching it, this is how I'm keeping an eye on playing it. If I take the extended hours off, this is what it looks like. And I think I need to lower the trigger just a little bit with the extended hours off. I do. I need to put it right there. The reason I lowered the stop just then, or the trigger, is I want to get below these 2 wicks. This wick specifically, and I figured while I was at it, might as well get below that one. So UBNT, I'm going to watch it tomorrow. If it looks like I can make it official, it looks like the trade is looking pretty, tomorrow morning or afternoon, I might make that trade official on UBNT. It's a nice little retest. The weekly chart, looks pretty decent. So we'll see. I'm going to put that on my list for the Friday in the morning. Limit says 16 hours till open. Sorry. I know, it's brutal. So I won't be doing that trade in the early morning, but I'll have to wait an hour and a half, 2 hours or so until after the open. But you guys get the idea. I'm watching it. I can't personally trade it, so I can't make it official, but I will keep an eye on it. We'll see what happens. UBNT. Chevron. Not Chevron. CVS. CVS. So I'm looking at a potential limit buy on some of these puts. So this was yesterday that we were looking at. And you might remember that we, at one point not too long ago, were talking about straddle, strangle on CVS. It looks like a triangle pattern is forming. The challenge is going to be, of course, could this triangle break bullish or bearish? I don't know. And that was the challenge. Also, kind of going into earnings. A 75 May put we could probably get for $1.15 or something if it retested 75.53, and that would be over earnings. 75.53. I'm sorry, $75 even would be over earnings if you got a May position. But earnings again, dividends are also coming up around the corner. So again, you wouldn't really want to short the stock. You'd probably look more into the optionable play on it. It has to be an absolute 0 because you don't want to really place it, get into it. And then I'd be more willing to get into just the puts rather than the puts and the calls. I do have a trader who was in both calls and puts. We were talking about that strangle earlier, and then he abandoned the calls when it broke down and is holding the puts. So the reason I'm a little more bearish on CVS is, you know, broke out support, right? Broke it down, retested. We retested support resistance, so we failed, trading up, failing again. Bearish volume is coming in. And as far as fibs go, let's see if we've pulled down to a fib level. I might do one or two. Let's do one from here. That one looks good. That one looks okay. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some fib levels we could be hanging out at and trading to, of course. Longer term, that's always a possibility. Yeah, I don't think it's a trade I'm gonna make official, but for those of you who are tracking CVS, this is what I'll be considering. It looks a little bit more bearish, and just simply I would wait for a retest before shorting, and then if you want to hold over earnings, you know, look to play the absolute zero. So again, that's the key thing, folks. Just as a reminder, there's plenty of stocks I'm not going to personally trade, but some of you track these stocks or companies all the time. You want to look at them, you want to know my thoughts, and that's it. Taser. Now, this is an interesting event today. Can anyone fill me in on some more information on Taser? I learned today that they have changed the name of the company to Axion, I believe is how it's pronounced. There's an epic brawl brewing between body camera makers Axion and VIEVU. AAXN. I've been trying to find that ticker all day. AAXN. So Taser has officially changed their ticker. Interesting to know. Yeah. So Charles was asking earlier, what does that mean about the stock? And I actually do not know how that'll impact it. I was looking at going bearish on it, but maybe people are going to make this as a spin, as a positive thing, because you definitely have a good volume, good candle coming in here. Good thing I waited another day or two, because that would have gotten already triggered in today and probably stopped out tomorrow. I mean, if AAXN, Axion Enterprise, which was once Taser, if we close above 2376, I'd be a little bit more bullish than bearish. Let's see here. Let me add this trend line right here. So we got a trend line there. Support and resistance here, and support and resistance right there. TASR is now AAXN. So Taser has changed its company's name recently in the last few hours. Is there a word for, no, is there a term for hours, like less than a day, more than hours, like 10 hours? So you have like a decade is 10 years. Is there a term for 10 hours? Deca hours. Charles says a move to capture the market share. I think you're right. Mark's posting some notes about it too. Charles says Wednesday they announced that they would give a body camera and 1-year subscription to Evidence Software to any and all active police in the USA. Mark says from Thinkorswim and Company News, TSR International was finishing the war Wednesday on its final day as a weapons-focused company. Today, disclosing plans to change its corporate name to Axion Enterprise, reflecting its ongoing change over to a body-worn camera company. Got it. Here's some intel. Mark. Charles. I'm just jotting some of this stuff down because people are going to want to know. Because I mean, Taser was pretty popularly traded stock. Charles calls it a while. This is a shocking development for sure. It's solid. Hold on. In a shocking development, Taser is now AXN. Awesome stuff, team. Okay. Charles says, I may hold it on to my shares and write it out. Makes sense. No, I mean, it makes total sense. I think it was good because Taser, it's like it sounds negative, right? It reminds me too much of my college years, and I don't like that. And I feel like it's better to rebrand it, especially since what they're focused on, you know, police safety, citizen safety, all that kind of jazz. And yeah, it makes sense, man. So in your broker, because again, I don't have any position at all. Is your broker, do the shares now say AAXN instead of TASR? Mark says, maybe you should not explain your college years then. Pretty much. I just kind of wrap those up and don't talk about it. Don't tase me, bro, is more or less what I was kind of what I was referring to, though, because I think that happened in UF, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember the exact story, though. I feel like that happened at UF, but I might be wrong. All right. Anyway, that's AAXN. Interesting insight, right? All right, so today is Transportation Thursday. Let's look at a transport stock, American Airlines. And here on the daily charts, I like this little pattern down here in American Airlines. So last week, I said trigger end of day next week, ... I think we bounce. Meaning I wasn't ready to pull the trigger yet. I wanted, because he had so many white candles in a row, right, guys? He had so many white candles. It's hard to buy into that many white candles. So we have this like inverted head and shoulders pattern looking thing, right? And again, personally, I like a lot of airlines down here on a 6-month minimum basis. So here's your 200 simple, and it's more or less it on airlines. With American, we're gonna look at it more. Pretty much what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw a trigger here, and I'm gonna draw Mr. Squiggles. Oh, that's too far. Let me draw another. Okay, this earnings. I don't know what earnings are going to do. And then I'll draw this guy with a different color. Let's draw that in blue. No, let's draw that in orange. Blue's a little hard to see. Let's see if we can do it in orange. Orange is better. Yeah, there we go. Okay, question mark. American Airlines, bounce off of 200 SMA. I'm looking down here for AAL to bounce as a wave 4 on weekly into the low 50s for 2017. That's just my expectation. I could easily be wrong. I was wrong on the wave size a little bit. I knew that we were going to get a wave 4, and I thought this was the wave 5 right there, and it turned out it wasn't. So American Airlines, done a lot of wave counts on American Airlines. Count is attached to this idea. Thinking, my thoughts is AAL is a 6-month minimum investment to get into the 50 range. But for those playing the hourly, watch here for some bounces. All right, pretty much my thoughts on American Airlines. Hashtag Mr. Squiggles, all right. Perfect, perfect. Yes, let's do that. Got it. All right, so that's American Airlines. That's just my thoughts on it. And again, I like today's inside day candle a lot. Makes tons of sense to me. And again, if we do break above here, we retest that inverted head and shoulders on the hourly. It makes sense. And again, here's your 100 simple on a weekly. I think this is again the wave 4. That's kind of what I was mentioning. Is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's best case scenario. I might be wrong on that, and I could be. I doubt it though. It's a little bit too obvious, but maybe. All right, American Airlines. So Hawaiian, one of the airlines that I've been watching and waiting to continue to go lower. I think this is a close your eyes and buy in the dark kind of play if it pulls down into the 100 on a weekly. This stock has been and was, and you've heard me say many times, just an absolute rocket ship for a while. So Hawaiian Airlines, just monumentally huge moves. And presently, we got this size of move, which we could easily bounce, but we haven't even made that big of a move yet, I don't think. So in saying that, let me see if I can draw my proprietary rectangles here. Let me do the absolute high and low. All right. So now I'm going to move this. Yeah, so we got a little bit farther to go, I feel like, on Hawaiian. I don't have any trade on Hawaiian Airlines, no positions. Ticker symbol HA. I do know some traders who want to get in longer term. According to Thinkorswim, I could be wrong here, but if you want to own shares of Hawaiian Airlines, you could consider a $40 put sale, and the premium is pretty good. And that's a May put sale. So keep in mind, you don't want to loan a bunch of airlines. I know a lot of you have, well, I should say, I know some of you have Alaskan, some of you have American, a lot of you have Southwest, some of you have JetBlue, some of you have Spirit, and a few of you have Hawaiian. Simply that if you don't have some airlines, you're going to consider Hawaiian. That's a possibility. That's at least where I would like to buy it. And that's all I have. Shorter term, we just keep going a little bit lower. We made lower lows today. My last trade I wanted to take was a short right here when I did this, this, and this, but the risk reward just wasn't there. And that's pretty much all I've got on Hawaiian Airlines. Next on the list, Delta. So DAL, just chopping around. Earnings, believe it or not, actually right around the corner. So here's what's interesting about Delta, and I can already tell you, well, go ahead and create this gap down here. If we gap down into here on earnings, I totally got the wave count wrong, and something is seriously happening. I messed up in a big way. It would mean this is some type of weird ABC, and this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which it's the stock market. I mean, I could come back 2 years and go, oh, that was so obvious. But then at the same time, we haven't made higher highs yet, which makes it a little bit of a challenge because this could just be all some what Elliott refers to as, not Elliott, but some kind of expanding flat, where you get different wave structures, and then we end up going higher. Anyway, it is in a distribution phase of that, I'm sure. And once you get into that distribution, sometimes these exact wave counts can get a little strange. But anyway, we'll come back to it later. I'm very interested to see what this gap does, because again, if we gap down below that area, it should be pretty bearish, and I don't think we do. Wave structure tells me we shouldn't. We'll find out. So next on the list, this is the trade or the airline that the most traders and most real life traders are in, to my knowledge. Southwest Airlines, and it's at 53.38 right now. And there's a few shorter term traders in this one as well, with this little double bottom right here, closed above the neckline, and some people getting in on some retests. The 100 simple, I think, is the next target on Southwest. I feel like we're going to pull into here and then bounce. Don't know if that's going to happen for sure, but it would make the most sense. And if that does happen, I think that'd be a nice little, be a good buying opportunity on Southwest, if that can happen. For anyone looking at maybe trading that longer term. Here's the weekly time frame and your exponential moving average on the weekly. So again, we did break out of this triangle. So Southwest had a great breakout. I think I could take those lines off finally and scoot this up right there. And then I'm going to draw my next target on Southwest. There we go. So we are pulling back to the 20. If I did a rough count, I could get a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's maybe a stretch, but it could work. And then inside of that, I mean, I can get a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's so good that I might end up drawing that. Yeah, I might have to. All right. One, 2, 3, 4. I don't think we're done yet. 5. Okay, then inside that wave, we're going to get let me just do a 3 wave. Where's my 3 wave? Oh, they're not going to let me do a 3? I don't think it's worth it then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess I could do that, but I don't think it's really worth it. I'll draw. How about that? I'll just draw one. Get a nice little thin line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. No one will see that but me. All right. And that's about it. Potential wave. Do you love my wave count? Just my thoughts on LUV. We've broken out. It broke out of an all-time high distribution phase and has retested it along with the 20 EMA on the weekly chart. Likely LUV pulls back again just a bit before taking off higher. I love this stock and company longer term from here. Now again, with that's my thoughts on Southwest. I think I did a wave count. So before I publish that one, let me see if this one is in conjunction with that one. I mean, I'll still publish it. I just want to make sure it's not the same thing. I guess I kind of forgot that I published one on Southwest. This was earlier. Yes, I'm fine with that. Which means this wave 5 could be a little bit stronger. Yep, works for me. So kind of like a minor wave inside the bigger waves. They all are pretty much matching on the same. 65.76, 67.01. 65.76. That's really the target right there. Okay, sorry about that. Perfect, got it. I guess I could have just copied that and put that into Southwest, but oh well. All right, so again, I like the pullback. It's just kind of showing that that's 4 months ago. This one's 4 months old. So we got the breakout. This is that wave 4 retest. I know it's kind of hard to see, but this is my expectation of that wave 4 pullback that we're getting, and then we trade up into this this little angle right here. So that was kind of like a big primary picture, if you will, of Southwest, and this is going to be kind of the more recent. And they both kind of say the same thing, which is good. And again, the shorter term traders, my hourly traders, I would just watch this to potentially bounce off of that 100 and take it from there. All right, so let me get some of this drawings off. Take that off, take that off, take that off. Beautifully clean. All right, good. Tesla is next on the list, and Tesla today, and again, I'll talk about this one for just a quick second. I talked about it a little bit in the afternoon or in the morning. I'm not going to harp on it at all. And I will say I do apologize for somehow messing up the math or getting something wrong or the options, whatever the options do. So here's my analysis on Tesla from the stock chart. And this is what I expected to happen. I really did not think we would get triggered in at $8 here. Right, that's where we got triggered in yesterday. It was pretty much right there, like right at 300 bucks, which was, I don't know, massive, big move. So I was thinking it would be a little bit lower because this is where I wanted it to pull back and then bounce from. So the low of yesterday on Tesla, so my entry 294.31, that's where I wanted to get into calls at, by the way. The low of yesterday, 294.21, which means I would have had the low to about the 11 cents at that on the bounce. So there were some traders who are still in calls. There were some traders who could not afford Tesla and got into bull put spreads or put sales. And again, apologies if I don't know what I did so wrong to just miss that, but I guess I'll try to do better next time. I wanted to honestly get triggered in at the low of today. I would have felt much better about getting triggered into the low of today. So we got a pin pattern on Tesla. It's definitely here. Now this is an all-time high breakout. All-time high breakouts have been notoriously terrible. So we could easily just come back in, get this retest, and then bounce. But at some point, however you want to play Tesla, look to be bullish. Just don't be afraid at trading it bullish if it starts moving. I'll say that. Don't be terrified. We tried it once, didn't work out. If we break this low, I'm gonna write that in here. Okay. if we take out today's low, tomorrow, Tesla will pull back into daily EMAs before a bounce. That's just my thought. Now, this is a nice flag. So if we make a higher high and a higher low, I'm going to try again because I do think this is a very strong bullish breakout. And it is a retest gap on the weekly. So I'm going to wait for more of a big pullback before I just start loading up. But I'm going to try to see if I can save some liquidity for something like this, maybe after earnings or whatever. If that happens, because I think it would be great. So it might not be right now. Could be a little bit out in the future. But if you're looking at purchasing Tesla long, makes tons of sense to me. Just be bullish on it. Don't play it bearish. Because any given day, things could just rocket ship. Here's CSX. CSX, a little bit of an inside day candle, at least presently. And we did make, it is a new white soldier. So last time we talked, well, I shouldn't say the last time, but one of the more recent times we talked about CSX, there was a support here, resistance here. We broke down, trade right down to the 50, and then we bounced. Crazy, right? That we would retest after this beautiful retest gap, that we would get something like this. What a weird pattern. We've never seen that before. So CSX bouncing off to 50. The trend is still alive. If you're looking at playing CSX, you can hop in here to the hourly chart and kind of get a feel for what it's doing. So this is the hourly time frame on CSX. For me personally, I don't trade CSX, but there are a few of you who do, and there is one lady who only trades CSX. That's all she does. Nice little retest gap, white candle gapping up, pulled back, bouncing off resistance, coming back again. So if we broke out, pull back, bounce, in this general area, this would kind of be where you'd look to go long CSX. And I know it sounds radical, but it kind of be up to you how long you're going to be in this trade long, because the trend looks healthy for the most part. I mean, it just traded right down to the 10 on the weekly. It got a good pullback. I don't think any indicator is going to be, RSI is at 69. So, it's high, but not brutally high. It could go higher. Bollinger Bands. We did fail to get into the top band. So that's, we're more than likely going to trade bullish to neutral up here. If I'm really guessing on CSX, I don't think I'm guessing. We do something like this. That's what I think CSX does. That would make a lot of sense because CSX historically loves to channel like that. All right, next on the list, UPS. Looks like I'm going to win the UPS wager. I had a wager on UPS that it would not get above 113 by Easter, which I thought was in March, but it's next week. UPS trading sideways. There wasn't much you could do on UPS other than exactly what it's doing. And the funny part is, this is one of the analysis that I'm pretty proud of on UPS. Let's hop over here and search the charts. This is kind of what I guess I should have just kept on drawing it. I'll get it pulled up for everybody. So just talking about the similarities between these two gaps, and just mentioning that I really thought UPS would do a form of this, some type of accumulation phase. Some type of accumulation phase, or just something similar to that. But anyway, if we press play, this chart won't update, but see, we rotated down, traded down, bounced, traded back down to the exact same support, bounced again. So UPS doing its thing, a little bit of a channel, a little bit of a accumulation type of phase. Pretty much what I got. Any questions on UPS? Let Sherman says, so what can Brown do for you? Deliver packages in an exceptional way. That's what. Could have made me some money. I don't know how I missed that hammer candle right there on the 27th of March, but I did. That would have been a great little hourly pull. Good 3-4 points. Okay, UPS. So let's go look at FedEx, ticker symbol FDX. And I was telling Niels the other day, this one, Niels played this like LeBron plays basketball. As soon as this lower wick was coming, you'll notice a really good support resistance on UPS here and here from previous levels. And, we just trade into that support. I didn't personally take this on FedEx, but here's a little channel that FedEx has been in also. And Niels, I think you said that put sale expires next Friday. And 94 cents on that one looks beautiful. Yep, so that's FedEx. I don't have a new trade set up on it, but that's where we're at. We're at a resistance. So if you have shares on FedEx, it's not a bad idea. Could consider a covered call if you can get some premium. Let's see where we can go in May. 205 May. It only has 200 and 210. 200 covered call for May is a lot of premium. 210, not that bad. 210 covered call on FedEx for May. Not a large amount of premium, but you get 80 cents, not bad. Publish idea, FedEx, covered call. I do not have any positions on FedEx. However, it appears it's in some type of channel. Niels is considering another put. That makes tons of sense, by the way, man. I'll look at it in just 1 second, though. Hold on for me. Consider another put. Good. If you have shares, at least one to consider. Now, I agree, Niels, that FedEx is bullish. No denying that at all. However, before you sell a put on it, this is just my opinion. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a pullback another 3 or 4 days. Maybe you can squeak out a little bit more premium since we're out of resistance right now anyway. So we hop back over to the chart. We're at the resistance. We got a little bit of an upper shadow. We've definitely been here before. A lot of white candles. Let's see if we can get something like this, which would make sense for us to pull back, 3 or 4 points. And you might get a little bit better premium. But yeah, if you're waiting for a pullback, I get it. Buy that one back for pennies and sell another one. Be beautiful. Let me know when you do it, and I'll throw it in the board, man. Okay, FedEx, Dunzo. Next on the list is some other trades just to update everybody on. So Apple. A little bit of a bearish candle today, and we got the 10 EMA at 143.25. We're going to figure out if Apple's going to work tomorrow with the jobs report and everything. So here's the deal. On Apple, if we gap up or show some bullishness tomorrow, let's hold the call. If the bull candle, no, I'm going to say show bullishness tomorrow. The bull candle is weak towards the end of day, we can exit. Right, so let's try and get the profit on it if you can. tomorrow. We'll see if it can bounce. Realistically, this is a stair-step pattern. We all know that Apple a little extended up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days in a row of sideways movement. You know, moving averages, I wouldn't really allow much to bounce off of the 10 because we bounced off the 10 so many times before. So tomorrow is going to be the last day on Apple. If it's good and bullish, awesome. If not, we'll get out and we'll look to get in another one on the pullback into the 20 coming into earnings. So that's going to be the plan for that. But I am going to watch for a day trade tomorrow. I'm watching it to break above 144.54. All right, that's Apple. Next on the list is Finish Line. We're looking at potentially going bearish on Finish Line today. And I don't think we trigger, but you never know. Looks like a strong bearish gap and go. And today was a nice little new white soldier. So what we're going to do is do this little setup right here and see if that one rolls over. I'm going to put that on the list for Monday, and we'll come back and look at that Monday. Tomorrow's Friday, Monday, yeah, we'll see if it rolls over. Finish Line, keep an eye on that, see what she does. Plug, here's some PLUG. Plugs at some interesting candles on PLUG with a potential buyout rumor from Amazon. We don't know if that's going to happen for sure or not, but here's your long-term moving averages and just kind of battling those. So a few traders kind of interested in what Plug's been doing recently. Here is the daily chart. It's down from yesterday, still up though, of course. And if Plug were to break above 242, I could easily see why it would continue higher. I mean, 40 million shares got traded today. Still a very, very volatile stock. And at this particular point in time, it makes you wonder who in the world bought there and what did they know on the 10th of February. So on PLUG, if we move higher and we break the highs of the next two candles, I'd be a little bit more bullish on it. But otherwise, I don't see anything specifically interesting on Plug. Win, I like today's candle on Win. So let's just keep holding. Looks like we're going to end the week with a high wave candle. And so we'll have 2 weeks left on the option, but we will be in the money nicely. So we're 2 weeks and we're in the money nicely. Meaning I'd give it, we'll find out tomorrow, I think, on a lot of our bullish positions if it's going to work well or not. We're up on the trade, definitely not losing, thankfully. And I say we hold, Let's let that 10 come up. We bounced off the 10 a few times before. If we get a good bullish day tomorrow and or Monday, I'm just going to try to keep holding that. We still got 2 weeks left. And we're in the money, and I like the candle, and it does show bullishness, right? We are doing some nice things here on Win. Okay, next is, all right, I already had Apple. EA Games, which we're going to get stopped out on very soon. So EA Games, very, very, very small white candle today. Again, if we don't get stopped out by Tuesday, end of day Tuesday next week, I'm going to pull the trigger and just exit for a small loss on Electronic Arts. So that's pretty much it. I mean, if we got Friday and Monday and Tuesday, 3 more days for it to bounce, which I really don't think it will. But looking at this on the weekly chart, right, the 10 EMAs at 87.33, this is the weekly. So if we trade up a little higher, maybe we bounce. I will say this is a little bit of a stair-step pattern, and volume is declining. So maybe we can break higher, but I doubt it. Doesn't look like it. Now, on the other hand, DNOW is making some dreams come true right now. DNOW made a new high from yesterday, which was fantastic. I did not expect that to happen. So let's keep holding. 1862 is our target on this bullish trade. And at this point, we can increase the stop to here. And next Wednesday, we'll increase the stop to break even. But this was one of those insta-profitable trades, and I like those. As soon as we trigger, we haven't been red since. So when that happens, you want to try to hold those, longer if you can. Try to hold those as long as you can anyway. DNOW, update that one. Okay. And next on the list, we have Snapchat and PVH. So these are two other official swing trades that we got open. Snapchat, I'm just waiting for a pullback. There's a few traders in some puts on Snapchat, it's safe to say. There's maybe one or two, maybe. If we retrace the weekly options newsletter for May, I still like that, honestly. It looks good presently. And then PVH, we have a bullish swing trade set up at 108. And again, I'll leave that open until Monday. So we got all day tomorrow, all day Friday. If it doesn't trigger on Monday, I might readjust it and or just cancel it and see if we can do something else from there. Wow, we covered a lot today. As usual, though, good stuff, team. Teamwork makes the dream work. Friday, what are we looking at? AFSI, snagged a gain on AFSI today. That was nice. BOFI, ATH, Marvel for Peter, Momo, Deutsche Bank, FCX, MRO, AMBA, Netflix, BABA. We got SPY already on the list. EOG, no, that's gonna be later. Any other? We can look at ACAD for Bob. Any other trades, stocks, options that you want to look at? Goldman Sachs, got it. FAS, got it. Put Bank of America, Wells Fargo. Perfect. Apple, of course, sure. We can always look at Apple. We can look at Apple every day. I'll take a sneak peek at Amazon. I missed a 2-hour trade on Amazon today. I just didn't take the retest. I thought it would retest bigger than it did, and it didn't. And it didn't. I have this on my calendar. Next. Yes. Okay. Perfection. MO. Absolutely. We can look at MO as well. You got it. My buddy Deepak was mentioning that win is outside that Bollinger Band. I agree, man. It's stretched. It really is. But I like that. You're right. Usually it shows strength when you close outside the band. And the only reason I'm trying to hold this one a little bit longer is because over here, when we broke out, we were in that top band on a weekly chart for like 6 weeks. So I'm not going to give it too much longer, pretty much about 3 to 4 days to make up my mind. If it starts moving higher tomorrow, if the market's strong tomorrow, if the market's bullish tomorrow, I'll leave Win and Apple alone. If the market's weak, we'll look to get out. That's pretty much how it's going to play. But if the market's strong tomorrow and or Monday, then we'll just continue to hold those positions. We still got 2 weeks on them. See if we can make a little bit of gains. Everything else looks pretty crisp. Tomorrow's Finance Friday. I'm also in the trading room all day tomorrow and all day on Monday, just as an update. And then, of course, the markets are closed next Friday for Good Friday. That's it for me, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in. You guys rock. Have a great day. And until next time, love, life, live life, and trade it. Bye.